There are basically two types of squirrels that we will cover today. The red squirrel has a bushy red tail and an eye ring. They live in trees and are only about half the size of the gray squirrel. They are seen running and jumping from one tree to the next. They are most common in Ireland and Great Britain, but there are also many around Scotland and northern Asia and North America. When ready to mate, an adult female American red squirrel emits an odor to let adult males know. The male may chase the female for up to an hour before mating. They usually mate twice a year in March, April, and August and September. After mating, the male adults have nothing to do with the babies. Squirrels have multiple partners, but if food is scarce, breeding may be delayed. Their diet consists mostly of nuts and acorns. They sometimes store food up in trees, but they have several locations so that if one food location is found or destroyed, they have another stash to keep from starving. Gray squirrels, because of the way they store acorns, are extremely helpful to oak trees. They look like professionals as they carry the seed about 50 to 100 feet from the tree and make a shallow hole with the front feet, then cover it with soil and leaves. The seed is now hidden from other animals, and if they happen to miss it while searching in winter, it will grow an ideal depth and distance from another tree. In the fall, you'll see many squirrels leaving home territories in search of new homes and storing winter food. Only a certain amount of squirrels can live in one area based on the amount of food. The adults drive out the young in the fall, and they go find another place to call home. This local group tolerate each other, but drive strangers out. Some years they seem to erupt with thousands traveling together in mass migrations. No one is sure exactly why this happens, but when there's a large supply of food, more squirrels will be born. Then the next year there will be the same amount or less food and too many squirrels. During the fall, all the squirrels forage for nuts and then bury them for retrieval in winter. There's no cooperation in this, they just all bury, and when winter arrives, they all look for them on the first-come, first-served basis. As they scurry around, if they get close to some food, they can smell it and uncover it. Most of the nuts are retrieved, but a few are missed, and they will germinate and grow into trees. The mating seasons for gray squirrels are in January, February, and again in June and July. When the female is almost ready to mate, the males will start chasing her, sometimes up to a dozen at a time. Eventually, one male will mate with her, usually an older one. If there are a few of relatively the same age, the male who happens to be first in line mates with her and then keeps all others away. Then the other males will leave back to their home range until they hear the noise of mating again. It's useful for mates from other areas to come to the noise because it limits inbreeding. Black squirrels are actually eastern gray squirrels with a genetic condition called melanism. Gray squirrels really have a combination of black, white, and red hairs that make them look grayish, reddish. A genetic mutation causes excessive pigmentation so that black squirrels grow only black hairs. The black morph success depends on many factors. Because they have better camouflage in the dark forests of the eastern United States, and the black coat allows them to absorb more heat from the sun to keep warm in the cold winters of the north, black squirrels have an advantage in the northeast regions over their lighter counterparts. The problem is the black coat makes them easier for predators to see also. Some populations of black squirrels were introduced by humans. The Kellogg family introduced black squirrels to Battle Creek, Michigan. Squirrels from this population were later trapped and used to establish colonies on the Michigan State campus. The city of Kent, Ohio, has a particularly large population because a scientist introduced them to study their impact on the local ecosystem. Kent State University imported black squirrels from Canada in 1961, and they are now the unofficial university mascot. Biologists estimate that only one squirrel in 10,000 is black, making them unusually rare.